Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Board of Sewer Commissioners meeting for February 17th. And I'd like to call the meeting to order. A roll call vote. Got
Malcolm White present.
Peter Dunlop present.
and Jim Gibberti present. So we have a quorum. And we have minutes for approval. 3 sets of minutes. First one is the November 18th. Well, I don't know how I want to do this because the only one that was at that meeting was myself.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Jimmy?
Sandy has joined.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes of November 18th as presented.
Who are you?
Alan,
Roll call,
Okay.
updated.
And Sandy Slavin has arrived. Okay.
I was in
and-
another meeting and it ran long, sorry.
Okay, and I will second
You're on too
Sandy.
many boards, Sandy.
Okay,
11,
I'm going to second that motion and have a vote. Sandy?
yes,
Aye, myself. Okay, so it's 202.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes of December 2nd, 21 as presented.
Okay, and
I don't think I was at that one, Jimmy.
no, you weren't. Peter was.
I didn't get those. They didn't download. Let me just check here. Just let me go. No, they didn't come down.
They were in the packet online, but they were on the backside, so they looked like they were out of sequence. So they were hard to follow.
Yeah,
No, you're right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. What was that?
Sandy was saying that the minutes for the December 2nd were on the backside. It started on the backside of the minutes of November 18th. She was doing 2 sides on everything. So
They were hard to follow.
they were a little hard to follow, that's all.
Well, see, I downloaded it, so I didn't get any backside stuff.
Oh, so you missed half the pages.
Yeah, that's figures I'm missing half the stuff. That's okay.
All right, well, I will second those then. And Sandy,
Yes,
Malcolm, you were not here. Peter
Yes,
and myself, yes, so it's 301.
make a motion, we accept the minutes of 12/16/21. I have been able to go on WCTV and I did listen to the full meeting, so I'm able to vote. And I make a motion, we accept them as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
I
just
think I
one
was
second.
there, wasn't I, Jimmy?
Yes, you
Yes, you
were.
were.
Well, I will second that.
Okay,
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sandy
aye.
and myself, 400.
So I'll come into the sewer department tomorrow and sign those minutes.
Okay,
What about October 14th?
we don't have those.
I do.
Okay,
October 14th was approved on the January 13th meeting.
Oh, well, it came through in the packet. All right.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, right. Sewer business, we've got 386, 388 Main Street abatement again. Is there any update on this guy? That from everything I see, it looks, they've sent some information in that it was shut off.
We approved it for, we approved it. When it went to Lee to be processed.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, she said we could not abate 2020. Even though he paid it, when he purchased it a year ago, he had to pay the back, which is 2020. I can only abate him 2021. So that is only half the bill, which is 20, I don't have the number in front of me, it's like $2,600. So it's been changed. So I cannot abate him the full 4,000.
Well, can
Okay.
we?
No, because it's in the next fiscal year. I say, let me rephrase that. The sewer commissioners cannot abate money in a previous fiscal year.
Okay, so it's 2018-50. Is that about right?
It's 12 and 12 is
Oh.
24.
19,
22. Yeah,
2019. If we're going to only abate half of it, it's $2,019.
hold on, I'm adding right now. It's because we can only abate him. I'm not good, 24, 20, 25, 40, 25, 4, 4. $2,544 all we can abate him. We abate him 4,000, right? So we can only abate him 2544.
Okay,
He's been notified about the correction.
Yeah.
He's all set with it.
okay.
Wait a minute, are we looking at 2584, 2584? That's on the
24.
document.
2544.
I'm just having the tough time bringing up the math.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, I'll trust you, Guy. Make a motion, we abate 386, 388 Main Street for $2,544.
yes.
I'll second that.
Hey, all in favor?
Malcolm White,
Aye.
aye.
Peter, yes.
Yes,
Okay, 400. And now we have a little love note for Bourne. The second half of the sewer usage commitment in the amount of $3,090,518.77. This is the second half commitment for fiscal year 22.
Well,
I make a motion.
Are the numbers good?
Yes.
I make a motion, we accept it.
Second,
Second by Sandy, all in favor?
Malcolm White, aye.
Peter White, Peter Dunlop, aye.
Sandy, I.
And Jim, I. 400. Moratorium, what's the status are we playing with there, Guy?
We're not finished. We're looking at some numbers. Last summer, we're averaging, it went up to 1.3, 1.25, 1.28, and then it was 1.1. So Russ is doing the numbers. What we're really adding is what we have to add in. And we'll have an actual hard number as to what a recommendation would be.
Then we'll do it at the next meeting, which is.
I think it was, we were distracted because we got our new permit, a new general permit for the treatment plant. And it's got a lot of things in it. So we've been spending the last month on that.
Then when can we have it?
Let me check with Russ. I would suggest a week or two, but let me check with Russ to be sure. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I would suggest If not the next meeting, the next.
Well, the
because
next meeting is next week.
Why
we
don't we,
can't, it won't be next week.
why don't we shoot for the first meeting in March?
Hey, let's do that, because it won't be next week.
Yeah. Okay,
March
so
10th,
March meeting.
March 10th.
Yeah,
correct.
okay. Now I've got the fog discussion again, and the only reason I wanted to get this back on is because of the issues that Guy raised last time about the grease clumps. And have we had any headway at all on those particular issues or not, Guy?
That grease isn't going to go away. Talking to Patrick, Board of Health, he will require grease pumping records of grease traps when they renew annually. So that'll be a good way to see what's happening out there, get some monitoring. That's probably a good beginning. So once he starts doing that, we'll start getting the numbers and we can follow up. So
Guy, I think I missed half of that. The Board of Health will require what?
pumping, grease trap pumping records.
They don't do it now?
No,
Grease trap pumping records.
Mhm.
And any idea when they might be available for us to look at? If they, when are they going to start?
he said he'll do it now. I have no idea when I'll see my first record, but he's in the process of starting the inspection year. So I'm assuming anytime within the next 6 months, we'll start seeing some things.
And what is he inspecting? What type of facility?
Restaurants.
Only
Restaurants are inspected annually. They need to get a permit
Sorry,
annually.
the grease trap pumping records will be
Mhm.
done during the annual inspection of the restaurants?
That sounds correct.
So,
Thank you.
Guy, those inspections are on like a rotating, they can't do them all in the same day, so.
No, they do them all in each year they review. So
So those should be coming in like often.
I'm thinking in 6 months. Every year he does it. I don't know the duration. Does he go from January to July, January, February, March? I
Right,
honestly don't
right.
know.
I'm just saying it would be scattered. So we could expect some next week.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as he starts doing it,
So
we'll get him.
Well, if
Can
you
we-
just-
do you
If
know
you-
where I'm going with this, Jim?
yeah, I know exactly where you're going with it.
Yeah, so can we get the inspection schedule?
It's, we'll have to see if we've just had this conversation with him. It would seem to me it's gonna take him a little bit of time to put his own house in order to be able to do the inspections where this wasn't on his chart before. He might have inspected
correct.
for grease, but he wasn't inspected for records.
Okay,
So if he's gonna be inspecting for records, he's gotta get it geared up within his own house to do it. And he's gonna have to notify each place that he inspects that he expects to have records from them on the pumping. Now which they may or may not have at the present time, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
So how's that?
He does not require pumping records presently. He just inspects for what the Board of Health requires, probably certifications of training. They probably have a list of
So Guy,
criteria.
what do we need to look at, or you need to look at? The
I need to look at-
invoices? You need to look at the invoices for the pumping?
What happens, there's a form, the pumper records the gallons he took out. He records the condition of the tank, if there are sanitary Ts on it. Then he does percent solids. When it gets to a specific percent solid, he has to pump it. Now, here's the irony, Malcolm. This is already regulated by the DEP. We should already be doing this, but we haven't been. So he's agreed to do this. So we'll
You're
continue
saying
on
the
doing it.
pumper has the pumper has the records. Why can't we get it from the person who's doing the pumping?
Well, I don't know when they pump. I don't know who they pump. You know what I mean? I don't have any
Yeah,
privy to
no,
the information. They're hired by the restaurant hires the pumper.
Right.
I have nothing to do with that. And we're just looking for the records. So we're
And
gonna
he
let them
could be-
do it.
And
So-
just for information's sake there, he could be hiring a different pumper every month or every time he has to pump.
Yes, correct.
He doesn't have to
Absolutely.
have the same
Absolutely.
one.
How many
So my,
pumpers-
And they could be dumping other places than here.
right.
That is
How many-
correct.
How many companies are authorized to pump?
I know, we probably have 40. There's a record at the Board of Health, because you have to register at Board of Health. I can't answer that question. That's a question for the
Right,
Board of Health.
right. So when you reference we, check, it's the Board of Health that should be doing this.
Yes, if Title V requires it. So I've asked Patrick to make sure that he gets pumping records for all grease facilities on sewer. So he said he'll do that. How
Yeah.
he's going to accomplish that task, I don't know, but I trust that he'll set something up to accomplish that task. I will give him time to set himself up, to figure out the best logistical way to get it done. I'll regroup with him, see how he's doing, get information I can get, see what's happening, and then go from there. This is initiation. When you initiate something, there's some bugs to work out, there's a process to start.
I understand, but again, you said this is something we should have been doing.
Well, it's
Um,
absolutely.
Yeah, so what's, to everybody here, what's a reasonable amount of time to establish some kind of a protocol?
I'd say we've got to give him about 3 months because he's gonna, with everything else that's going on around. It's gonna take him a while to get it in place. He's gonna have to get to these people that he does inspect in the next 3 months and find out who's got records and who doesn't have.
Well, Jimmy,
Um,
is it
Some of
possible
them
to
don't
invite
have
him?
them. They don't
I
have
just-
records because
The
they
only
haven't-
reason I'm pressing for this, it's a big headache. It really
Yeah.
is.
No, it is. I know it is. I realize that. I mean, I looked at the pictures alone. I've looked at some of those grease balls before.
Yeah.
And this is something that we've had, we've talked about in the past. We've had a couple of seminars on it. We've had people gone over this in the past with the restaurants.
Honestly, does he even have the budget to do it?
That's,
So, so
Can
let me
we
be clear.
invite him? Can we invite him to a meeting so we can have the discussion with Patrick himself? To understand the process and what he's
There's no-
seeing?
There is no process. We're creating a process. What
He
I've
doesn't-
asked him was when he inspects a restaurant, ask them for their pumping records of grease
But
traps.
he's, sorry,
They may not
Guy,
have it.
all right, he's inspecting the restaurants now. Right?
For his issue, for his, what he does, nothing to do with grease. Grease
nothing to
isn't
do
even
with us.
it. I've asked him to add it to his duties. I'm asking him to do more work.
That's
So
what
he
I'm
has to
getting.
figure out how to do more work with
Is
his
there-
existing staff.
Guys, stop a minute.
I'm sorry.
I'm hearing you.
Is there
Yeah.
a form that the restaurant currently creates? Is there a form the restaurant has that he
No.
completes every time
No.
he's pumped?
No,
No,
So
no.
the restaurant has no record of when and how many times they pump.
We don't know. We're asking. We'll find out, Sandy. I can't answer the question. Some restaurants, your chain restaurants pump regularly because the big chain nationwide, many states and many communities already have programs in place. So they follow them. So your chains will do that. Your mom and pop, your local person who is running on a stricter budget may not want to spend $1,000, $3,000 a quarter to pump. So I don't know. We will find out, and he'll get all these records, Sandy, and then we'll evaluate them, and then we can make some good decisions as where we go next. Because
Guy,
people I'm suggesting to your local restaurants, mom and pop are not pumping. Your chains are pumping because that's part of their repertoire.
Guy, I need to understand, we have never, ever had a requirement that a restaurant on sewer be forced to pump. Never.
We have, now, if you look in your packet, you'll see our policy, or the policy
we don't-
established by, So you have to have a policy.
Can I, but we don't do anything. We don't
No, I don't
check
have-
it. Don't
I don't have the-
enforce. I know, I
We don't have
know
the
you.
staff,
don't have
Sandy.
the staff.
We can't do it.
But years ago,
No.
a year ago, we said about hiring somebody to go off and make this happen, and
Sandy,
never-
I can't even get people to run the plant.
all
I
right,
can't
so we're
get
gonna,
people to run the maintenance of the pump stations. We
okay,
have an
so we're
issue. We have
going to-
6 staff.
we're going to continue to have blockages because of,
Yeah,
of grease. Yep,
Yeah,
okay,
so
all right.
So what we're doing, Sandy, is to get some type of handle to help us get the problem. We're asking the Board of Health to ask for records. They said they will. So at least we can figure out who's pumping, who's not pumping, and redirect the limited staff we have. No sense in going after people that are in compliance. Let's go after people that are not in compliance with our limited staff. That's all we're trying to accomplish.
That leads me to believe that they're supposed to be records if the Board of Health are going to obtain them.
There should be, but I don't know if there is, Sandy.
That doesn't necessarily mean there's gonna be records. If the Board of Health is gonna obtain them, that means that's starting something new and they haven't requested or required in the past.
So the restaurants don't know they're required to have records.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
No.
Go right ahead.
Jimmy, in the packet, there's the policy. If you look at item 12 on the policy, it says all manifests must be submitted to the Water Pollution Control Facility within 60 days of the pumping service. Have we got those kinds of records?
No, we got about 4 people. We've got the mall. That was a big problem at the mall. The Wareham crossings, they're in compliance. They send records all the time. We get records from the crouton factory. We get records from the Dunkin' Donuts. That's all we get with any consistency and regularity. That's all.
That's
So-
not adequate, obviously, you know.
Of course it isn't, but if we find in all the other ones, I can make an assumption and say no one else has pumping records. We'll find out as Patrick puts the information out and goes out and seeks the information, we'll have a hard idea of where to go.
So
Guy-
Because I don't have staff.
is it within our realm to put a penalty on failure to report timely?
Yeah, I think there's fines written into the policy.
Do we have a list of the restaurants on sewer? Total
So
list.
we may not be enforcing our own policy.
That's correct. We don't have anybody to enforce it.
Guy, do we have?
I'll pick it. I know where the book is. I cleaned my office this week. So.
Whoa,
Oh, it's huge. Doesn't look like the same place.
We do have a list.
Sorry, do we have
We
a
have a list
list
of every, yes, we do. We have a list of every customer.
You can provide the sewer commissioners a list of all the restaurants that are on sewer.
We can get there. We have a list of all the customers. We'll break them out. I can't
And
tell
what are
you
we
when
gonna
we'll get it done, but we can break
and
them
what
out.
are we gonna do with it?
I
Then
don't know.
maybe some of us visits the local restaurants and ask them how they're doing.
Well,
Why
I
can't
want
we-
to, I don't know. I don't know if the sewer commissioners in their capacity has the right to enforce policy. I don't know. I don't know if it's
No.
day to day. I don't know if it's, I don't know that. That may be a
No,
legal question
Asking
because I
enforce.
don't know. I don't know.
I'm asking, if I go to
Well,
a
that's
restaurant
interesting
for dinner,
because-
can I ask the question?
It really
Yes.
impacts the sewer.
Yeah, go to any restaurant you go to in town, you know where the sewer runs, just ask a restaurant, hey, do you pump? If that's what you think that should be done, yeah, you can do
I would
that.
like to see a list of the restaurants on sewer, please.
Sure.
Start with
Downtown Wareham, 6 and 28, Wareham Crossing, Pub 99. That's the bulk of your restaurants. So just pick any restaurant down 6 and 28, they're on sewer. Check any restaurant downtown Wareham, and I can tell you the restaurants in Wareham don't even have any sewer, any capacity to treat sewer because they don't have grease traps inside or outside. Some have them inside. So all the
So you-
restaurants there you can ask.
So
Onset,
basically
every
what you're
restaurant
saying
in
is it's
Onset-
easier to.
Good.
So Guy, it's easier to write the ones that don't?
It is, because why, if you got
Oh, I mean,
limited effort,
It'd be like Vels and Gateway.
go ahead. There's, up that neck of
That-
town, there's none. Yes,
Yeah,
Gateway
but
has
so it's-
sewer. Gateway has sewer, Cool Cone
Oh,
has
they do
sewer
at
because that's the
Healthway?
end, Briarwood.
So Cool Cone.
Yes.
Yes,
Cool Cone has sewer.
But I
Cool Cone
thought,
doesn't work at all.
I thought the Chinese restaurant had to put in that fancy system. I didn't think they were tied in.
Cool Cone is on
Ye-
Route 6. I think,
Yeah,
what
but ne-
Chinese restaurant?
Across
Come
the
down
No,
the
you-
Chinese restaurant.
No, you're right. They don't have it. They're to the right, but everything to the left has sewer.
So,
Oh,
Again-
Sullivan's Plaza does, the other does.
Yes,
Sullivan
everything
has
across the
it.
street doesn't. They
Okay.
have it. Then it
Yeah.
goes down Cremisa. And then you got Hathaway Street has sewer, Briarwood has sewer. So that picks up Gateway and that picks up Cool Cone.
in Cranberry Cottage.
Cranberry
And the
Cottage has
bakery.
sewer. Yes, they have
and
sewer.
the bakery. So is it easier just to give us a list as opposed to going down all the restaurants we know?
Just don't
Probably
go
not
to
easier
Bell.
probably not easier for my staff, probably easier for you, but yes. So I guess depends on the question, how we're framing it. Who's it easier for? Not for my staff, but yes, much easier for you if I give you a list. Yes, absolutely. And we can do one, Sandy. It's just that with everything else, and right now it's billing going on. It may be a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. It may be a little bit, but we will definitely do something. We can.
I mean, coming, anything from the Board of Health is probably gonna take 3 months before we see anything from them.
It's
Realistic.
Jim, you're right,
You
Mr.
know.
Chairman, he's starting a whole new thing for us. And I
I
appreciate
understand
his
that.
effort. I appreciate his effort.
No, I understand that, guy. That's why I'm saying it's gonna be at least 3 months before we see anything out of him.
I think that's reasonable.
Realistically,
I think it's
you
reasonable.
know, he's gonna need time to put it together and get his people to do it. I mean, he's gonna run into people that, you know, say, well, I'm pumping, but they don't have any records. So are they pumping or not? So now they're gonna have to start getting records.
Right.
Well, is this policy that was written back in,
2014.
2015, maybe 2014,
is
2015.
it gonna be good enough, or do we need a new policy?
So first, I'm going to answer it this way. We probably need a new policy, Peter. Even our sewer policy is antiquated and outdated. It doesn't even cover what needs to be covered. But we need to write a new sewer policy, sewer ordinance, new grease ordinance. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
I'm-
It
I'm
all has
looking-
to be written and brought up to
Yeah.
modern times.
Jimmy,
Looking
could
at
we
the
do a
fees.
workshop and then write a policy and include some penalties?
Why not?
Yep,
Okay,
I
then,
was looking at the fees, guy. They're way out of whack.
The fees?
The fees.
Oh, wow.
For the review fee and,
Septic fees?
yeah, the annual inspection fee is only $100 and I don't know
Yeah,
how you can get in a truck and do that for $100.
No, this was written in 2014, I believe. So, yeah, everything's antiquated. I mean, it's today's rate. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I agree.
let's set a workshop, Jimmy, please, and,
Yep.
and write a new policy, and we'll put some penalties in there. And we'll
Yep.
get together with, the health, the Board of Health, so that they'll have something to back them up.
no problem. I got it down.
After the 22nd.
Oh, yeah, well after it. Okay, anything else on this for the moment?
No, and also,
Okay.
let me throw this at you, another curveball. We're getting more grease from residents. And there's nothing we can do there. Folks, one thing that's really becoming iconic is more and more people are cooking at home and selling food. You can order it online now. Go online, there's people that'll bring you food, and they're cooking within their residence. So we're starting to experience, as an example, Swiss Beach has as much grease as I get on 6 and 28. And I don't know of a restaurant in Swiss Beach. Pinehurst probably generates, matter of fact, it generates so much grease that it blocks the line. We got to clean it twice a year. And there's no restaurants in Pinehurst. So there are residential areas that put a substantial amount of grease into the system. And that's an area that we have to consider. It used to be 14% was an average number. That number has climbed substantially. So that's a whole new ball game, whether it's a byproduct of COVID, et cetera, I'm not so sure. But residential areas are producing quite a bit of grease.
Okay, moving along. We've got town meeting coming up. We need articles if we're gonna have any for town meeting, and they have to be in by the 1st of March.
Mr. Chairman, one, two I'd recommend is financing for the force main on Narrows, which is 3 million, and financing for one Kinko, which is E1 Systems, which is approximately 3 million, 2.9, but 3 million. And so I would request permission to borrow. So I'd have two articles. I don't know if you need one or two, but I would request to borrow funds for those two projects.
You probably need 2 articles.
Whatever's best. I don't.
Yeah, I would think we'd be better off with 2 articles.
3 million for each of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me? Yeah.
Who's gonna write the articles?
You are. You're the secretary. You do better than any of us. You do a good job, Sandy. You do a good job writing them.
I'm gonna have to have a little bit more detail than force main Narrows and one Kiko.
So that's what they have. Let's sit down. When you come to sign tomorrow, I'm off. I had cataract surgery, but I will come in tomorrow. What time you go? I'll come in and meet you. Because
Okay.
because I know, or you can pick another day. We've got a little bit of time, but you know what I mean? It's gonna be done in
Yeah, well,
10 days or so.
Mr. Foster usually writes the borrowing articles. I can put the skeleton together, but he needs all the words.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, yeah,
so again, force main Narrows relining.
Yes, lining the force main from Narrows Pump Station to the wastewater treatment facility, 1.9 miles.
Okay, so lining or relining? Lining.
Yes.
From the force main from the Narrows pump station to the plant, 1.9 miles. Now give me one Kinko.
One Kinko is replacing the failed sewer lines with grinder system. And that is for the Ruggles pump station catchment area. And I don't remember the street saying it's one Kinko, Murphy, Columbia, Pleasant.
All those that fall into one Kinko.
Yeah, yes, all those are falling to one Kinko, and they're all part of the Ruggles catchment area.
Are we
And I can-
replacing the failed sewer lines?
Yes, we're
Or-
abandoning the existing gravity system.
Okay, wait. I can't
Okay.
write that. Abandoning gravity.
Yes, abandon the gravity and replacing with closed system grinder pumps.
Closed system grinder pumps. What is the cost to the residents along those streets?
Actually, nothing. We're gonna finance it and pay for it. Sandy, we'll have to sit and talk as a group with the board, but there should be penalties because we're gonna pay for everything and because we're doing it. But if there's a failure of a pump because of negligence of the homeowner, then they'll be required to pay a fee. And we need to discuss that further.
Guy,
hold a
we have-
second, Sandy. Guy, on that basis, and that's something that we should put into the workshop.
Yes, we'll
policy.
discuss it later. Yes.
We'll
We'll
discuss it.
discuss it later. Yes.
Yeah, let's not bother with it now.
No, this is just a borrowing. So I think
Yeah.
yes, you're right. If there's a workshop, they can discuss the details.
Yeah.
Because we're still, even if we started this in the spring, we're a year
Right.
and a half away to fruition. So
Yeah,
we got a lot,
exactly.
they got time to figure out the logistics.
So if I take a look at it, it's Murphy, Barnes, Pleasant, something View,
Yes, Bayview,
Bayview,
Kinko, and that should be it. I think it's Columbia, right? I think Columbia's on the top diagonally.
Columbia does not, Columbia goes into Barnes and Barnes goes into
Yes.
Murphy and Murphy goes into Waukegan.
Yes, that's Columbia's included.
Columbia,
Yes, yes, ma'am. Columbia also. And that's it. I don't have, now the engineer, Sandy, has all this. We're meeting next week to go over all these numbers. And it may be wise to tell you the date and have you at that meeting, and you can get the plans and everything. It may help you write your article.
damn. Okay,
Guys,
Yes.
just a question on that design. Is it individual grinder pumps or are you trying to bring several residences into a sump and limiting the number of grinder pumps? How's that working?
That's a good question. What we're literally gonna do is give every single home on those streets a grinder pump. And then we're gonna put a 4-foot main on each
Yep.
street. So we're
We've
gonna get
talked
out of the
about
water,
that.
and it's all gonna be closed. So there'll be no infiltration.
Right.
There'll also be no inflow, because if they connect their sewer to the grinder pump, they have an issue. So we're gonna, the goal is to get rid of the inflow also.
I understand because of the change that we're going to incur the expense the first time, but after that, I want to walk away from those pumps. It goes on the homeowner. That's my point.
Mhm.
So we'll talk about it.
and with new
Yes.
homes being built on Murphy Street, is it just the homes that are now or there, or when homes are, if it's a closed system and a house is put on the end of Murphy Street, like there is being planned, how do they attach to the closed system?
They put a grinder pump. I think the two properties that I'm aware of on Murphy that are building, one has a grinder pump already. I think they both, I think the original builder put 2 grinder pumps down there in anticipation of putting a couple of
But-
good sized
yeah.
homes. So yes,
Denton has just built his home, but there's a lot down there between Denton's house and Murphy that I believe is gonna come before conservation for a building permit.
they will have a grinder pump. That'll be required.
Okay.
Matter
Yeah.
of fact, Sandy, even now, without this project done, anybody that's in the water table, where there's a high water table, is required to have a grinder pump presently.
I mean, with that kind of a system, it's very easy to expand it. So,
Yes.
yeah. It's a
Malcolm,
much
reality
better
is,
deal. I just don't want to be maintaining pumps.
well, so we can talk about it, because in reality, to be frank with you, all low-lying areas in the town of Wareham should have grinder pumps.
I
You see,
agree.
one of the issues we're facing, and we're looking at a grant to study this, is as the sea level rises, I have more and more pipes and manholes becoming underwater that are overwhelmed. And now they're gonna take on seawater, which is gonna really stress our system
Yeah.
and ruin our capacity. So we have to stop planning for the future and really start hitting Swiss Beach, and specifically Swiss Beach, and some parts of Pinehurst. There's areas that are low lying that we have to address. In Onset, everything that's on, by Front Street, that system is deep, and we got a lot of leaky pipes. And so it makes no sense to repair those pipes, but it makes more sense to put grinders to get rid of infiltration, inflow, and that type of thing. And also,
Yeah.
if somebody does a development in those areas, Malcolm, we want closed pipes. So they can't snap together pipes. They have to be fused together to eliminate any type of infiltration, because it's become a major issue. It's going to get more and more complicated as time progresses.
Yeah, it works pretty well, though. It's similar to what they use for the medium and high pressure gas. It's pretty quick, and they
Yes.
fuse 40 feet at a time.
They just go right through it. It's really
Yeah,
straightforward. Yes.
So, and actually, I know some of the reviews on that material. You can lay it on ledge and drive a D8 over it, and it'll hold up.
There's a presentation at the plant. I'll let you know when the date is. The gentleman's coming in to demo it. You can see
Yeah.
it. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
So-
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd
right.
like to see that.
Pretty
too.
remarkable.
Yeah, powerful stuff.
Okay,
Will you let me know when the engineers are in so I can join that meeting to better understand?
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be good for you to be there. Absolutely. I will do that. I'll shoot you the dates. I think Bob's coming next week. I forget the day, but next week for sure. We're gonna meet, we're gonna discuss One Kinko and everything we're doing there. So it'll be a good meeting to be involved in. Absolutely.
And I have just sent a note off to Mr. Foster saying I need help on how to write articles pending borrowing.
I would just have him cut a check.
Ah,
That sounds good.
Just
I
have him
don't see
cut a
anything wrong
check.
with that. That's the easiest way.
And also, we have, Sandy, I'll find out, because the engineers are writing a proposal out for bid for the Narrows. Maybe I can get a copy of that to you also and have them explain it to maybe give you more understanding of that project also.
and I think I have to give the town a little bit more than lining force main narrows to plant, 1.9 miles. I think my article needs to be a little more detailed. Got it.
Absolutely.
Well, you can go into the history about how old it is, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's 1972. We also have the evaluation, Sandy, of that force main that
Yeah.
talks about 40 to 90% failure. So we've got that report
You
also.
know, and the expected life of the pipe, and we're beyond it, so.
We're almost at 50 years with that thing, so.
Oh, as long as Alan and I.
There you
Oh,
go.
my God. Oh, my God. Merciful heavens. Okay.
I hope the pipe has as much patience as you do, Sandy.
Today I do not have patience.
No kidding.
We lost power. Transformer down the street blew.
Yes,
Oh, well.
I seen that.
Okay, we're up. We got that. Articles are underway. Okay, comprehensive wastewater management plan.
Wait, sorry, Jimmy. At what point can we approve these articles so I can put them on the,
Next
we-
week.
oh, that's, am I
You
supposed
have
to
a
have it?
meeting next week, yes.
I have
So
to have it next week.
Next
Well,
Thursday.
can't you approve a form, Sandy? And write as close as we can and then get more specific to Mr.
I'll give you a draft
Foster?
for approval. I will give you a draft for approval for next meeting.
That's all we should need. You know, as long as we've got that, we'll know what we're talking about. Or you will.
And that's the 24th.
Affirmative.
God darn.
Okay, comprehensive wastewater management plan.
Mr. Chairman, something we talked about, we had talked about in lieu of going to the Canal at this time to evaluate the options of the town of Wareham for the next 20 so years. And even though part of a comprehensive plan includes regionalization,
Right.
suggested by the EP and DEP, there are other ways to accomplish the goal. So we discussed putting out, a quote for it. We have one in, Bader gave us one, AECom. They do a lot down the Cape, is going to give us a quote, and GHD will give us a quote to do the comprehensive. It's anywhere from $400,000 to $1 million. We're hoping that everybody's reasonable. Bourne paid $600,000 for their comprehensive wastewater management plan. Marion paid $500,000, and some other towns down the Cape paid 4 to 5, couple 3, depending on the size of the town and how much of the town they're going to sewer.
How are
So,
we going to pay for it?
I'm sorry.
How are we going to pay for it?
Well, again, it's funny. Remember the boots that we used to put out to collect 4th of July money, the fireworks down on Main Street? I've got a bunch of toilets I'm collecting.
Well,
I'm going to strategically put those throughout the town for projects. And I need Sandy. I was hoping you could help us on the back, put some flowers, help us decorate them so they're pretty presentable. And we
Oh,
can
that's
talk-
because you've seen the toilet in my front yard that has a planter in it.
It's just a good idea. I think if we strategically put
That
these
would be
throughout
good.
town, then we can, people can donate as we go. But in this year's budget, saying 2023 budget, we've allocated $650,000 for comprehensive wastewater management study.
So it's in your budget and it's not capital.
It's in the budget. Yes, it's in the, well, it's the capital part of budget.
You
Remember the-
can't use
remember
it.
we-
You
yes.
can't use capital for this.
Well, we call it capital, but it's a budget capital.
Jimmy,
We do it every year.
Yeah, we can't, we have to run, may have to run a separate line for that.
We do. So this is what it looks like in the budget. It is a separate line, one separate line. Usually, like last year, we put in buy 3 trucks and we put the trucks in. This year, all we're going to do is, all we have money for is to finance the comprehensive plan, which we need to do.
There'll
But
be no
anyways,
other, sorry, there'll be no other
No.
capital purchases from your budget this year?
No. The other monies we're using to pay debt, the $9 million loan,
Yep.
and
yep.
it's
Yeah,
1.6.
last meeting.
We're paying debt with
But
that money.
that's- Jimmy, I don't think accounting will allow this to be identified as a capital purchase.
I think they'll be fine. It's in the budget.
Well, it's not a capital purchase, actually.
No. It's not.
So if I go to the budget line,
It's basically an operational expense. It's just an add-on. It's an over and above normal operational expenses, that's all.
Who
Extraordinary,
requires this?
or whatever you want to call it.
Requires what, Peter?
Who requires this management plan? Is
The
this
Department
something
of
we have to
Environmental-
submit?
Yes,
We have to
yes.
submit it to the state?
yes. The state of Massachusetts. It's pretty involved. Last one we did, Peter, was 2002. And the one in 2002 is completed. And in that 2002 comprehensive wastewater management plan, showing the 12 areas, we also understand that once we complete those areas, we are back to capacity. So on a 2002 comprehensive wastewater management plan approved by the DEP, we told them, or actually it was Camp Dresser Camp Dresser and McGee, I think it was, CDM. But anyways,
Cost doesn't matter.
Cost
Yes.
doesn't matter.
they explained in their comprehensive plan that after we sewer the 12 areas, that this treatment plant once again would be at capacity. At that point, we'd have to write another comprehensive plan and figure how we're going to treat the rest of the town. So that's where we are. One of the things we talked about was regionalization and going to the canal. So this comprehensive management plan will identify maybe that as one avenue, and all the other avenues that we could use to continue to sewer the town of Wareham. So that's what the plan is.
okay, Guy, I
pretty
can't
involved.
find it on the budget.
If you want me to change it, I tell you what, I can put it under,
What
if it makes you
sorry,
feel better, I can take the 650,000 and put it under outside contractors.
So you have 686,000 under your budget line, right?
I have 650,000 under my
Well,
budget line for budget capital. Yes.
It says
I do.
capital,
stick-
sorry. I'm looking at the budget you propose. It says capital additions, $686,638.
Yes, that was it.
I
But
got a wrong budget in front of
no,
me.
that's the number. But when I first did the capital plan for comprehensive, the number 650 was suggested to me as a reasonable number.
I
And that's
need
what I
you.
budgeted.
really-
So we can
I
change it.
really- Sorry, it says capital additions. I think that title should be changed for this plan.
I don't, whatever. Again, I have to meet with Mrs. Sullivan to present to the
It-
finance
It
committee.
would work under outside contractors.
We
Because
can
that's
put
what
it
you do.
anywhere. But because we've always put on the capital expenses, always been there, but we can change it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Call it
Your
what you wanna
outside
call it.
contractors are only 350,000.
Well, now there'll
Yes,
be a
but
million.
Now there'll be $1 million and we'll pay for the comprehensive plan out of that budget, out of that
Okay,
line.
I will make note on this budget that that's the change.
Okay, and I'll run it up the tree.
I see you're on finance committee meeting.
I don't want, I'm really upset about that. Originally I had 9 o'clock. I figured I'd be okay. Now they changed me to 2 o'clock. There's something wrong there. I like the 9 o'clock, get in, have your coffee, get in, get out, to do your day, and now I gotta stress the whole day as I wait for this meeting. That's just not
Yeah,
right.
right. Yeah, that's that one word in there that just doesn't seem to fit. It's called stress. Okay, so that's gonna get shifted in there, all right. Any updates on the plant storm?
So, I don't know if the board's aware, I think I may have updated you somewhat, but we lost the storm, we lost Smith's pump station. It flooded, 10 feet of water. We had to take the motors out and have them baked, put them back online. We kept the station going by pump trucks, and pump trucks have been, my gosh, if I look at what I spent in pump trucks for the last year, I could probably bought 2 of them. During that storm, we lost the generator at Kendrick. We lost a generator at Oak Street, Parkwood.
They
We
lost?
Yeah, the generator would not run. Anyways, we lost the
Are they
generator
running now?
they just wouldn't run, Terry Lane. So Terry Lane went down because the battery was gone, the charger was gone, and it needed a recirculated heat block. So we had to replace those things. So when the power went out, we had no generator. So we have to rely on pump trucks because I still have to move product. I can't not move product. Springborn generator is down, so I had to hire a pump truck to move product there. Kendrick generator went down, so we had to hire a truck to move product there.
How come they all went down? Are they
Yeah,
so
well,
old?
various reasons. The Generacs that we have in Oak and in Parkwood, it became an ice issue. The regulators that go into the generators, there's a component that ices up and it doesn't allow the flow of gasoline.
So
Natural gas. So
guys.
they're go ahead.
Smith Street pump station flooded
Yes.
and the generator failed in how many pump stations? You were listing them too fast for me to write down, but how many?
Okay. Terry Lane,
I'm not going to write them down, just count.
4.
4 failed. Are they all now up and running or have to be
All-
replaced?
all except for Springborn. Springborn's about 6 weeks out. So we're leasing a temporary backup generator that's tied to the switch at the pump station. So we have backup power there now. It's $4,000 a month in rental.
Thank you.
Jimmy,
Yes,
I thought we had a contract with somebody to maintain these generators.
We do, twice a year. They do a major and a minor.
Well, are they responsible for these
No.
failures then?
No, the failures had nothing to do with the major and the minor. The majors, all the fluids get changed. They check the battery, so they're all good. So it, like on Terry Lane, the battery charger failed. So the battery charger failed. Each generator has a battery charger connected to it that connects to the battery. The battery charger fails, so that means that the battery fails. So when you go to start it up, there's no battery. So you got to go out and get a battery in the middle of a storm. And then I got to tell you, just getting anything in the middle of a storm is nuts.
So what's this maintenance contract doing for us then?
They're changing the oils and they're making sure they run. Out of
They didn't
45
run.
generators, we have 45 generators. 4 went down. I mean, we have a lot of generators, Peter. I think the nature of the beast is, it
Oh,
happens.
if they're not maintaining them, they're supposed to
They-
maintain all 45.
They are maintaining them, but they don't guarantee that they'll run every single time they're demanded. They do maintain them. It's like your car. You can say if you maintenance all the time and all of a sudden you have a breakdown on the highway. Is a mechanic responsible? Probably not. Because he did maintain. He checked everything. He checked the fluids, checked the things. I'm taking a trip to Florida. He checks everything. I'm in North Carolina. I break down. I call my mechanic and say, hey, you checked my car, broke down, come down and take care of me. I probably could. He may laugh at me, but they did what they're contracted to do. If it breaks in the interim, then I don't know how I can hold them accountable. They fixed everything and we went over it. I was very adamant or upset when it happened, Peter, but there was really nothing I could do. They came in, this was
Did we get a bill for what they fixed?
we have a bill. Everything was fixed, was billed to us.
So not only did they not maintain them, they charged us to fix them.
They maintained them. So when you get a
But-
generator that the battery charger fails, they can't say, well, they could replace it every time they go, then it wouldn't fail. But they don't do that. It was working at the time of the service. So how do I hold them accountable that the battery charger failed? When they were there, it worked. And then the gas regulator, that because of the freezing, driving storm, it failed. how do I hold them accountable? Because when they were there running it, it wasn't storm conditions, it ran. But it didn't run because remember, there's vents and the wind blew it when it was just crazy. So I don't think I can hold them responsible because it wasn't a maintenance issue. It was a storm related issue. And during the storm, Peter, I couldn't even get a pump truck. I had to have a pump truck come up from Howard, 2.5 hours to get here. Local
I
pump
saw
trucks
them
would
go
go
by
up.
every 3 or 4 hours.
Pump trucks?
Yeah.
Not during I'm talking about during the storm.
They were, as soon as they could, they were running back and forth to Smith roughly every 6 hours.
No, that was after the storm. Yes, after the storm. You know what I mean? After the
Right.
storm, because that pump station was down. During the storm, that Saturday, when these trains went down, it was a nightmare because I couldn't get a pump truck out because nobody would come out in that storm. Matter of fact, my generator person, Peter, they couldn't even get their van out. I had to go pick them up in the company truck in the town 4-wheel drive to take them to these generators. Nobody would come out. Nobody would move in that storm. But you know, we're town employees.
Just
We
easy.
do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know. I said, well, if you live in New England, you know, what's up? But yeah, they wouldn't come out. Peter, I couldn't get a pump truck out. The generator company says we can't put our vehicles out. So I did. That's what I had to do because we had to get those generators running. Some will run temporary, but that's the storm. It was crazy. It was insane. It really was. Yeah, we got a lot of water. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention because again, these are costs that are unforeseen and they're coming out of the budget. These are unforeseen costs. I wasn't planning on these. These are above and beyond the budget that was already stressed.
Okay, okay,
Heinz pump station backed up. The mesurator failed. It was quite. I got to
Yes.
tell you, when they built
Hello.
that pump station and put the Muffin
I know,
Monster
but-
in,
just responding to you.
they made no provisions to be able to take it out.
Yeah,
Clarify when we're gonna bill our-
I'll ask that question in a minute.
All right.
Yep.
I'm out of here.
Okay, right.
Bye.
Okay, quickie update. Sandy lost power. So
She
she's out
lost
of,
power,
yeah, she's out of play right now.
so we're going to cancel the meeting.
Hell
her
no.
Her part of it.
Okay. Wow, that's a shame. So that means I got a pump station down. Ask her if the generator's running.
I don't want to know.
I think.
Yes,
I just
we
got an
do.
alarm. I think I got an alarm. It's probably said generator's running.
When is the increase going to be billed? When did we decide on that? Or did we decide on that specifically?
Sounded like there was some confusion on that.
Yeah,
Yes. I was told that it was July billing. All I
Okay.
want to know is it the July billing for the first half from February to July 31st? I'm sorry, the August billing. So she said the bill in August. Is that from August to January or is it from February to July 31st to be billed in August? That's the only clarification I need. So either we bill in August for February 1st to July 31st, or we bill in August, which goes August 1st to January 31st.
And
Which
I
one
thought
we
the intent was August 1st.
yeah, the
For
intent was August 1st going forward. Was that right,
Correct.
Mac?
Correct.
Is that what we were talking? I thought,
I thought so.
yeah,
that was my point. So what I said is that if we're going to bill August 1st to January 31st, we're not going to see this increase until 2023.
Right.
Right.
It seemed like the consensus was, and I'm not saying I agreed, but we work as a board, that it was too soon to have that kind of an increase, so we pushed it off till the first half of the next fiscal
Second
year.
half.
Was
So the
there
billing
any
is from-
discussion? Was there any discussion about sending out warnings that it was coming?
yes,
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay. So we're still gonna do that next billing.
It's in the newsletter that's going out now to say that the next billing cycle, there'll be an increase.
Yeah. that's-
Okay, all right, all right.
I think that was the intent.
Right.
Right.
That's the way I understood it. Okay. Okay, there was a question, the reason it's on the thing, there was a question brought up about haulers prices.
Okay, what's the
Peter,
question?
I think you had the question, Peter.
I was just looking at what we're charging here for the haulers,
Mhm.
and they're pretty low.
Well, they are.
You-
For
You
septic,
told me I think you told me one time that it costs us 11 cents a gallon to process sewage.
no, there's, I don't know, I think it was like a nickel, but so we get sewage, look at the prices. So we did a survey. New Bedford charges 5.5 cents a gallon for sewage. Middleborough charges 10 cents a gallon. Fall River charges 6 cents a gallon. Brockton's 10 cents, that's too far up. Plymouth charges 6.5 cents a gallon. So that's our surrounding areas. I don't know, you tell me.
So what does it cost us to process?
At one point in time, it's about 5 cents a gallon.
Well, is that safe? Is that a safe number to use then?
It's safe. I can run them again, but it's safe. And the whole idea of pumping was to encourage people to pump their septic tanks so they wouldn't overflow and cause a harm to the waterways. We're getting tremendous volume for sure. I think last year between septic and grease, we did $1 million in revenues, which is substantial.
Guy,
But anyways,
is this uptake in the storage, the haulers drops, is this a result of COVID? More people at home, is that causing it? Or,
it could be
What is-
because the
any
numbers are
idea?
staggering.
yeah,
don't know.
I was looking at the budget and it seems like it's gone up dramatically.
It's staggering what we're doing. So we're the revenues are incredible. We made for grease and septic. We made pretty decent revenues.
And I don't see there's a real issue with this at the moment, but Mac, any comments?
No, I mean, I have to rely on Guy for the best
Yeah.
estimate. So
Yeah, because I mean, you gotta be somewhat,
if we're not in the red,
I mean, we gotta be somewhat competitive with the area because, if it isn't too far to go, so they'll just drop elsewhere.
Correct.
I mean, to keep it reasonable
Yeah.
does help the overall intent of what we're trying to do here. It's clean things up.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Guy, do you have anything for your report? Or if you,
No, just basically the things we talked about.
That's right.
The board must, I don't know if you're aware, but we have this is our new permit. It's, I don't know how many pages.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of pages, 20 pages. And in those 20 pages, there's a couple things that really sting. One is PFAS and PFOS. They're asking us to test for it. They're
We don't
asking
have
us
it,
we
we
don't
don't
test for
have
anything
it.
now.
and none of that's in the sludge either.
We don't test, so I couldn't tell you. And I'm
We
told
don't
never
have-
to
There
test
we
it.
go.
We don't want to know. So as far as I'm concerned, we don't have it because I don't test for it.
Right.
This new permit says I will test for it. I will test my sludge. I will test my process. It says I will test the industries in the town of Wareham. They say to find any industry producing PFAS. They're saying that I must regulate car washes. I can go into here. That's part of my permit now.
Okay, the bottom,
Commercial car washes.
The bottom line on all of that stuff is they want us to test for all of this, and how much are they contributing to the cost of testing?
Nothing.
Oh, this is another unfunded mandate. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, the EPA has been mandating for years. Now, I know the town had a problem when they mandated MS4, and the EPA decided to visit the town last year. And I guess now we're doing MS4. The mandates by the federal government when it comes to Clean Water Act, this is a Clean Water Act voted by Congress. There's really not a whole lot you can do. We're gonna comment on everything in this permit. We're gonna say we don't like this. I don't like the PFAS. I'm gonna tell them I don't like PFAS. I don't want to test for it. I don't want to identify it. I don't want to do the CMOM, which is the capacity management and maintenance of your collection system, which requires a whole lot of things. And the biggest being staffing and validation. And I have to submit reports on what we're doing in our collection system, how much money we're spending. And they've increased the penalty and the requirements of a sanitary sewer overflow. So all that is in this permit. We looked at staffing, it was recommended. I call the DEP and EPA, it's 2 staff members per 10 pump stations to maintain your collection systems. Well, that's more people than I have in the entire facility now. So I don't see that happening. So I'm asking if they would, not that they abandon it, but they delay it until we can reasonably get some help. So we're going to request that. So we're going to address this permit. I met again with the engineers today by Zoom. We're going to address everything because we have to. We've got until April 1st, April 14th to address it. And then when we had the seminar with EPA, they said they're going to put it into effect in October of 2022. So they warned us that we have a right to make comments, but they don't think any appeal is going to be successful. But nonetheless, we're going to do it. So that is concerning to me because it's going to increase the responsibilities of the treatment facility. And again, we don't have staff. We're struggling to pay the staff we have. And it's pretty interesting. Anyways, that's where I am with that. I also have a new mandate, I like the word mandate. The only mandate that was good, the COVID mandate was paid for. That was a mandate that didn't come out of your pocket. But I guess people don't look at it that way, but I don't remember paying anything for COVID testing, or that's a one mandate that was paid for.
Yeah, we paid for it.
Well, listen, I think people need to be real. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
There you go.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. That's all I want to say on that. Even though you don't take it out of your pocket, it comes out in another way, another time, in a different manner.
We pay
The other pocket. But there's no such thing as a free lunch. And you think you got a free lunch, you're in trouble. Yes.
There's no upfront paying.
No.
No upfront, but you get the back end is tremendous.
So Guy, with these guys and what they're handing you, right? This is your new discharge permit?
Absolutely. This is my new NEPDES permit.
So whatever we do, we just want to be sure we're still in line for funding because we're looking at expansion. I don't care.
Yep.
Obviously expanding the plant doesn't help, but we have to be able to expand our ability to discharge. We want to be in line for funding. You know that little
Malcolm, you're right.
caveat, well, you didn't do this.
That's right. So
you're not getting you're not eligible.
Right. My approach, Malcolm, has always been to comply the best we can. To tell them that yes, we are going to work on it.
Because I want that free stuff that we're paying for.
That's right. I agree.
How's that sound?
I want those free grants, and I want
that free stuff that this entire town is paying for.
Exactly.
Yes. So I just
bring it home.
I mean,
bring some of it home.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's all.
So we'll approach it with some, we'll make recommendations and we'll plead our case, but we'll never say that we're not going to do something.
No, I know. It's not Canada yet.
No. So that's how we're approaching this. And we also have an Ssr requirement. Now I have to send emails to everybody in the neighborhood. So if I have a pump station or a manhole discharge, I have to send everybody in that neighborhood notice that there is a breach of the sewer system. So I
Yeah.
have to have, I also have to have interactive webpage. And so I've got to set that up. So I'm working on that also. That's part of the new program. It's got to be up and running by
Oh, yeah.
July 6th. So I
Yeah.
got to figure that out too.
Excuse me, Guy, would you say that you have to send the notices to whom?
To everybody affected. So let's say the
You mean-
manhole in front of your house, let's say the manhole in front of your house spit water into the bay. Everybody on that bay has to get notification from me stating that that manhole overflowed and the water went to the surface. Yes, everybody. I've got to,
Would that apply to the problem that you had at Smith's during the storm?
it would. Even though nothing
Oh.
came out, yes, it's called
But-
bypass.
That would be practically 50% of Wareham.
It's crazy.
No.
You know what I mean?
And this is an EPA regulation?
It's a Department of Environmental Protection regulation endorsed by the E EPA.
So it's just a typical thing. They mandate, but
Yeah, but they don't pay for it.
exactly.
Forget the pay, Peter. They don't understand the effort that it takes to get it done. You know, it seems regulators and administrators have no problem saying, do this. I need
Yeah,
this.
that's
But
That's
no one
because these
considers,
people that write these regulations live in Kansas.
you know, and they don't know what it takes to get it done. You're right.
No.
And so we got to fulfill these obligations.
Hold one
But
second.
anyway.
Hey, Bob, are you still on there someplace? Sandy's trying to get back in. Something's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there she is. She's on audio. Okay.
Mike, where are we?
Sandy's
Finished.
back.
Looking dark, Sandy.
Sandy's back. She's hiding. Well, it's dark because she's hiding from
Who's
Al.
that behind you, Sandy?
No, she's muted. That's just, well,
Oh,
okay.
that's good.
I heard that. I heard that. I'm no longer,
Yeah, you did.
hi,
Okay.
a challenge.
Are you all set, guy?
I am.
Okay. Some pumps and homes connected, those are still ongoing. Some pumps will be, some of them will be under control once we get the Swiss Beach situation done. But that's down the street yet.
The only way to get it under control, pick everything up.
Do we have any new business? Anybody?
Sorry, what happened with the rate increases?
What rate increases?
When are we going to have them on the bill?
August,
It will be on the August bill.
right?
No,
There-
August 1st, it'll be on the January 31st, 2023 bill.
Why can't we put it on the August 1st bill?
Because they understood it to be August to the billing cycle from August to January, and that bill will go out 2023. That's the way it was understood.
Yeah,
So we can't put it mid-cycle.
That was the intent, I think.
I thought it was the intent to have it on the August bill.
Well, it's, the bill
Well,
goes out in January, but
The
the
August. bill
billing
goes up
cycle
to-
starts in August, so I mean.
The
you are-
increase
you
was
are-
effective
You are
in
getting
August.
paid, you are getting paid for that period, which part of it is in 2022. So.
So the rate increase is as of August
Right,
Correct.
22.
Correct,
the actual
be-
billing is January.
January, but the rate change is effective August. And
So
I
in
thought that was the intent, Sandy, because
Yeah.
we thought it was just too quick to make it happen now.
Okay, so have we told anybody that we've got a rate increase in the
We
works?
will,
It's,
we are
just
going
discussed
to.
that. He's put it out in his newsletter.
How about telling the town officials? Does Derek know?
Why?
Why?
Why, they'll spend the money.
Derek's
don't-
not, Derek's
Why
not
would-
on.
We don't have to tell them.
Yes, we
Derek's not
do.
on- Derek's not on
Why?
sewer.
They can come ask.
Oh, come on. It's called share. I want some
Town of
visibility.
Wareham,
You're
There's a
conflicted,
customer.
Sandy. You got too much going on.
they will get it in their bill, right? We
No,
bill
but
the
come
town
on.
of Wareham.
Can you give them a heads up that they're going to get an increase before it increases?
We'll let Jimmy marinate on that.
Yeah.
I really do think that the selectmen and town administrator should be aware that what we've done.
Hmm.
We're all part of the same town. Oh, you
So,
want me to mute again? I know. Here, I'll make that easy. There.
So,
They're liaisons. They're, I don't see them at any of our meetings.
Have you told our liaison?
Who?
I know. He shows up once a year and says he knows what we're doing.
Who?
Yeah,
He's resigning, isn't he?
Who?
no. Patrick's not, his term is up. He's not going for reelection, but he's not resigning. He's going to fill his term. It's Peter that's resigned.
Like,
And he, you know, I really do think we should tell town, selectmen
well-
and TA,
drop Patrick an email then.
send him a
Tell
letter.
Alan. Tell Alan.
no, you send it up to Patrick. He's our liaison. Let him break the news at the next selectmen's meeting.
I'll do that.
I don't
I'll
know.
get,
It's all part of the minutes. If they're doing their job, they can read what we're doing.
I'll get a
Come
hold,
on.
I'll get a hold of Patrick.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, it's my term up this year, Sandy.
No,
No,
Peter,
Mine is.
Peters is.
Mine isn't up yet?
no, you've got another
And
4
you-
years to go.
Jim,
Which will be-
business. This report is out.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I have a copy for each member of the board.
Oh,
This is
good.
put up by the Buzzards Bay Coalition, the feasibility study to the Cape Cod Canal.
Oh, really?
All the testing that is done. It's pretty extensive. It's got everything that they've done, everything, all the testing, all the gallons per community. Everything's in this. I have a copy for each one of you.
Beautiful.
I have a copy for each selectman.
I will read that.
It's a total recap of everything that the Buzzards Bay Coalition, the town of Wareham, through grant funding has done. I believe it started in 2016,
Yep.
2015, actually. And since 2015, we secured $737,000 in federal funding through grants from the U.S. Environmental Protection to do these projects, to study the effect of nitrogen in the eelgrass of the canal, the bays around the canal and all the discharge areas. All that studying's done. There's a study from oceanographic.
Don't tell the people in Bourne that, because they don't believe that stuff.
They don't believe anything, but here's the bottom line. I don't care where
I
they're
don't know
from.
who believes the science anymore.
But
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
science.
We'll
is
just
no-
leave
we
it
don't do
there.
science.
We'll just leave it there.
Absolutely. So this is available. Anybody else that wants a copy, just ask for it. I think I
Yeah,
have 6 extras. I can get plenty more.
I'll get
So
mine
if people
tomorrow.
are really interested in the facts,
Yeah.
because these are facts, these
Are you back to work
documented.
next week?
I'll be back to work next week, yes.
I'll come down and see you.
So everybody will get one, and it's good reading. It was well put together. And it speaks to a lot of things. And I just think that once people have the facts, they can make an educated decision, opposed to a decision based on hype and partial stories, et cetera, et cetera.
I like
Okay.
that.
Oh,
that's
it's it's no fun making a decision on facts when your mind's made up. All right. Down there, we don't have anything else coming up. God,
We
where's
need-
Dawn? Where's
You-
Donna when you need her?
Wait, Jimmy. We
Yes.
need to get into the sewer department to sign the letter for Bourne second half sewer. So we need signatures from everybody.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to stop by, please.
I make a
Is there
motion
anybody there tomorrow?
49.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll pop in the morning. I'll make sure there's one for everybody. So if you come in tomorrow, you can get one.
Yeah, I'll definitely get
I'll
in.
drive them. I'll
that.
drive them
Yeah.
in.
I gotta be there anyhow. All
Should
right,
I try
Sandy.
again? I make a
Sandy.
motion, we adjourn at 7:50.
Okay, all in
Jimmy?
favor?
Just one point before we adjourn, Jimmy. Are you going to notify Patrick of the increase?
Yes, I'll call him. I'll get in touch with him.
Well, just a quick piece of information here. There's a chart that was given to us that's the approved performance standards for Massachusetts public water supplies. And it listed the Wareham fire districts and the residential gallons per day is 54 gallons. If it's costing us 5 cents a gallon to treat the waste, each house is coming out at about, where did I write the other stuff? It's on the back of something. It comes out at $1,095 a year. So our rate increase is well within limits.
Yeah, that's a good point. First of all, if it's 54 gallons, is that per person, per household? And secondly, so maybe more gallons. When we got the SR fund loan, we had to supply our rates and they thought we were well underfunded. They don't know how we're existing, how we keeping the plant going, because they believe our fees should be around $1,200 annually just to
Well,
maintain what we have existing.
That's what these numbers bear out, yeah.
Yes, and so every time we talk about rate increases, we play with it and we don't want to charge the ratepayers. But the bottom line is the cost of doing business is substantial. And we have an infrastructure falling apart and we can't maintain it because it takes money. And I hate to say that, but
Well,
EPA.
At 5 cents a gallon and 54 gallons a household, it comes out to $985.50 a year. So our rate is well below that.
I just put that on the agenda for our workshop.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a pretty good measure since we can't get an actual measure.
Yep.
Because regardless how much water I use, I always use the minimum according to my bill.
Yep, exactly.
I have no idea what I use. My point?
You're right.
I have
When's
no
the
idea.
workshop?
No idea.
I will let you know. I haven't picked one
There's
yet.
a motion. Okay, there's a motion on the floor.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Malcolm, aye.
400.
Peter, aye.
Aye. Thank you all
Thanks,
for,
Guy.
and thank you all for making that
Thank you,
long
Guy.
drive.